Ladies and gentlemen, this is Frank Donga, and you're listening to Boom Radio. Boom Radio. Keep listening. Don't touch it.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is BoomBar right here on your Boom Radio NG. My name is Dolupo, so I bid you warm welcome to the bar today. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. The bar is filled with plenty gist today. That I can promise you. We're going to be talking. River State is in the news again with plenty gist. We don't want to be on Boom Radio at this point. Should be like prophet of doom, but it looks like these things are things that we had predicted earlier that might happen, and it looks like it's happening. River State is not looking good at the moment. NNPC has also come to say that they're stopping. There's no hike. Where that story came from, it's something that needs to be looked into. Quite a number of stories actually that nobody seems to know their source, but it's one of them is the story about Governor Sanwo-Olu. We will get to that as well. Also, there is conversation. The rep member that slapped somebody, it does not look like is going off easy with his apology, as it looks like the owner of the person that received the slaps is not letting him go. Is supposed to be arraigned in court today. So that and a lot of other things are things that I'm going to be talking about today at the bar. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as I am in the studio with Sola Rogers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is always a pleasure to be at the bar. Thank you for joining us. And if you're watching us on YouTube, we urge you to like, comment, and share. And let's grow the family. So come on, subscribe also.
Okay, so we're going straight into today's gist. First things first, let's just put a bit of conversation around President Tinubu had launched the Armed Forces Day emblem appeal yesterday, if I'm correct. Yeah, and then he had also added about 500 million naira to that fund. Apparently, that's the highest that any government has ever added to this fund. So, do we say kudos to him? Because at the end of the day, it's not his money. So, we can actually look at itself and say, maybe it's not his money. But anyway, we'll see where all that gist is going to. Now, moving on from that quickly. So, just wanted to put that out there. Now, let's go to start with our gist of the day, as Federal High Court in Abuja has now stopped the CBN from paying the CBN and the Accountant General of the Federation from paying monthly allocations to River State. And what they're citing for that reason is the fact that the what's the word now? The budget that the government of River State is spending money on is an illegal one, as it was shown, or it was delivered to a 4-member House of Assembly, and they're saying that the governor should go back and do the right thing.
You know, one of the biggest issues that you always find between us, the people, and politicians is the lack of understanding of governance and the structures, the rules and regulations, the constitution, and all of that. It is understandable but sad that many members of the populace, the Nigerian citizenry, don't know a lot of these things, and that's why the media is being charged to help disseminate information. But what is even sadder, if I can use that phrase, sadder, is if a politician who has been in governance, a commissioner and a DG of finance and all of those things,
of a whole state,
someone of that level, does not understand governance and the governance
I don't
structure.
think he does not understand. I think that he chooses to do things. However, and this is one thing, since this old drama with Governor Fubara started, and I'm like that, the things that he does, the least he can do is do things the right way.
You know, when people come through and they start to talk about these issues and they get all sentimental about it, you obviously see it that this person is just being sentimental, either due to lack of knowledge or just because there's an agenda.
Yeah.
And when your views don't tally with theirs, you become the bad
There's a
guy,
problem.
you
Yeah,
know,
I
that and
agree.
all that. And I've been reading a lot of comments on social media.
Oh, there's a lot of
And
banding of wiki.
Now that the judgment is out there by the Federal High Court
In Abuja.
in Abuja, people are misconstruing it. It's almost like when Libya punished the Super Eagles because they knew they could not go toe-to-toe with them. They didn't want to lose at home, and they were going to deploy whatever it took or takes for them to defeat the Super Eagles. They did all those things. Even they had a preemptive strike when they came to Nigeria by refusing to land, by refusing to inform. You know, because, you know, the normal thing is that I'm coming to your house. I should be ready to welcome you.
Yeah.
They are just show up suddenly and say you were not at home. Oh, God, you didn't tell me the time you were coming now. Not in 2024. It's the same thing I see with Governor Simila Fubara and his supporters. It's like they really don't understand the rules of engagement, the rules of governance and the Nigerian constitution. And when you try to set it right, people, and I really don't care, because at the end of the day, we always get vindicated because
it's how to put out the proper information. And you know, like we had said, and I know that at this point, everybody, maybe people are expecting there should be a for and against, but there are some things that there's no need for an argument. It is what it is. Yorubas will say it's Aroju.
Yeah.
Like it's something, and you know, my issue is, I know that I saw a comment a few hours ago when this judgment was first announced, and someone said that there's still not the judgment that is voiding these lawmakers seats or making it vacant are still not being finalized by the Supreme Court. And in my head, I'm like, if the judgment about the budget, the judgment about everything else other than these people's seats, everything else, every other judgment is recognizing these same people. Now they are telling him this is not the first judgment. They're telling him that he has to go back to that house. They're telling you that when it came to local government elections, there was judgment that told you that you had to go back to that same house. Every single judgment that is coming out is recognizing that house that Governor Similaya Fubara refuses to acknowledge. Doesn't that point to something? You
know, in politics, timing is everything, even when it comes to judicial matters. For instance, the late governor of Ondo State had an issue with his former deputy, and there were rumors of him wanting to remove him. Then that one crossed to another party, then another party. But based on timing and all, you know, they couldn't do nothing.
Oh, there was nothing that anybody could do.
And the man belonged to another party.
Yeah.
But in Oyo State,
there was time.
The governor removed his deputy. And he did everything within the confines of the law. And nothing happened.
Do you understand?
And these are the things. That's why I'm drawing parallels that
Mr. Fubara,
when you're playing politics, you must also understand the judiciary.
The House of Assembly has a lot of time.
And all of that. And this is the sad part that I'm not even going to go into the alleged rumors of what caused his spat with his former principal. Him and Wike is not even the issue now. The issue for me has always been that governance will suffer.
Doing the right thing. You know,
the governance of River State will suffer. Dolupo.
A lot of people are going on about how he needs to look inward, and they need to how much IGR that they are producing, because I see a lot of people, supporters of Governor Fubara now, is that the IGR should be able. The IGR
That's
will
still wrong.
not.
Even
If it does, even if he says he wants to, meaning that, what does that mean? It means that the allocation, state allocation every month, the FAAC allocation, they're not getting. The 13% derivative, they're not getting. I can categorically say there is no state in this, maybe Lagos, other than Lagos, that would, even the only, everybody goes back to when Lagos State was not, and it was local government allocation that Lagos State was not getting.
You see,
you cannot
it is not about allocation. It is about the legal status of your constitution, the legal status of your budget. If your budget is not backed by law, then it is illegal. So it's not even about IGR. If you start spending IGR, under what guise are you spending it?
Because
which budget is it standing on? So
now,
it's not even about IGR.
Another thing that I also
spending that IGR can actually get him into trouble.
Yeah,
because
another thing I wanted to even point out,
the budget is not passed.
If this drags on till maybe like December and January of 2025, what happens?
For instance,
there's still this whole drama of no budgets, and because whatever budget that they are going on about now ends in 2024.
There are some things that you use to measure the performance of a budget. Now, even if this budget gets passed by the house that he doesn't recognize, which is the official house of Rivers State now, even if this budget gets passed tomorrow, he has a short window to make it perform. And that is even grounds for impeachment still. The performance of your budget is grounds for impeachment. Yeah.
I think that the governor is doing everything in his power to get impeached.
I don't know who is advising God.
People might not see that way, but I think he's doing everything to get impeached.
Even if you've had this falling out with your party and your principal and all these other people that you people have called yourself names back and forth,
just do the right thing.
At some point, you need to look at the people that employed you, the people that voted for you, the people whose mandate you have, which are the people of Rivers State. And at some point, I think you need to come to a compromise. You need to sit down with the House of Assembly, swallow your pride.
But he's saying that the House of Assembly does not exist.
Okay.
According to him.
So every judge that has made a pronouncement and every case that has been brought to every court that has referred you back to them don't know what they are saying. You know, look, Nigeria, a lot of things happened in the past. There was a state in the southwest where the governor went to present a budget. He picked the gavel by himself and struck it.
Oh, okay. So,
you know, somewhere close
we
to
have a
Dolupo's
comment.
State.
I don't know what you're talking about. Thank God Sola says, please, I would suggest you and guests should come and impeach him. Okay.
Thank you for your kind words.
Thank you for your comments, really. We're just saying it as it is. It's not looking good for
to be honest,
Fubara.
I like your comment. We do not have powers to impeach him, but we have powers to analyze the situation and prefer solutions for the greater good of the people of Rivers State and Nigeria by extension. And I get from your comment that you are definitely a Fubara supporter. You are one of the people that should be telling him the truth. I'm not going to join issues with you. I'm not going to curse you out. But what you said was more or less like, we should come. We're not going to impeach him. Why should we? We're not even members of the House.
It's interesting because
let's face the real issues. Leave the story of Fubara versus Wike.
I think we should. We're past that matter. Point. Because at the end of the day, Wike is in Abuja. You're the one that is.
I like this comment.
Governor Fubara is the one that is dealing with these issues. He's the one that does not have.
I love your comment, and you would kindly do well to go and look at the facts of this matter. And if you still feel the same way, good luck to you. But I can guarantee you one thing: if it's tomorrow, if it's next month or next year, you will not be able to impeach him. 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 You will not be able to impe you will come back to this video that we've made, and maybe you need to go and look at the older videos. We predicted all of these things that are happening because it's just common sense. It's basic.
Yes, that's the word.
It's simple sense. It's simple. You know,
left to me.
But hey, be sentimental. Like I said,
yeah,
it's all right.
everybody has their different sentiments.
And thank you for your comment. God bless you.
I would also just like to suggest that if he's not careful. Oh, okay. So he also says Wike does not want peace for us. Okay, so now this is my issue with a lot of people, yeah? And of course, there's an issue with Fubara and Wike. My question is, at this point in time, the issue of the House of Assembly, yeah, maybe there's a Wike underlying factor there. Now the issue of the budget, the issue of the local government and all that. How does it affect Wike? Do you understand? Like, how in the world does it affect Wike? The people of Rivers State, at the moment, according to the last judgment, are working with a set of local government chairmen that might most likely not be recognized. Yeah? We're looking at a budget that the court is saying that it is not the first court, by the way, that is saying that is not legal. There is a judgment that is asking him to go back to go and what's the word now? To represent the budget again. All this now, there is now a judgment that is stopping allocations from getting into River State. How does that affect Wike?
You see, my brother, what do you call his name now?
Thank God Osola.
Thank God Osola. Like I said, you started off aggressive, but it's fine. But if you listen to us, we're not against or for anybody, but it's the greater good. What I'm asking you is, if you take your time, look at the judgments, look at the facts of the matter, leave your sentiments aside. It is time for Governor Fubara to kindly look at the law and work within it. Like I said, look, worst case scenario, you sit down with these guys and say, look, let us all put our issues aside.
It's not the first time.
What will happen to Rivers State is the duly elected governor of the state. He has the mandate of the people. But he cannot function if he doesn't have a budget that is passed.
The budget is
it's even scarier. It's scarier when he says he's running the state without a duly passed. It's a dangerous situation.
It's a very dangerous thing we're looking at.
This is no sentiment here,
I honestly
brother.
think that
no sentiment.
Governor Fubara is heaping a lot of issues on himself. I don't know, but it does not look good, because I think that case about their seats getting vacant has been there's been a judgment by the appeal court is going to the Supreme Court. He did not win any of those cases. If he gets to the Supreme Court
and he loses
that case,
what happens?
I do not see that house not impeaching Governor Fubara. And the sad part, there's a lot of time.
That's why they need to settle out of court now.
There is a lot of time.
Call these guys. Forget Wike or the politics or anything. And it is time to go back and make people realize that the people of the state must come first. You know, when Governor Similai Fubara came through, when he became governor, there was one project he pronounced that's going to transverse about 3 local governments.
Yeah. I
was seriously looking forward to that thing. You know what he did immediately?
No.
Like Wike used to do. He would pay for the construction in advance so that there's no excuse. You know, it's a Wike style. I like it. Like, okay, Julius Berger or any of these construction companies go and walk.
Let's move.
Do you get?
Yeah, I get your point.
Those kind of projects will suffer.
Oh, they would. Oh, yeah, they would.
They will suffer because now, how many things can he do? How many things did he plan to do?
Yeah.
So it's not about impeaching him. It's not about getting him out.
It's not
about
looking good.
Looking for a middle ground. Because again, politics is what they are going to do for 4 years, not governance. It's looking like that. And Rivers State had already made a lot of progress under the recent governors from Amechi to Wike. I saw progress in that state. You don't want that to go back, honestly. But
we'll
again,
see. We'll definitely follow
sentiment aside and look at the facts of every matter. That is what we are about.
Okay, so we're moving on from that, and we're still talking about budget. As now that there are reports that in the new budget, 2025 budget, Nigerian inmates are set to receive a new feeding allowance of 1,150 naira. If I'm correct, I think it used to be 500 naira. The honest truth is, when you think of 1,150 naira right now, what can it really buy? But it's mass production of food here. But for people that are getting fed by 500 naira, would we say that it is way better?
There's a lot of emotions going through my head, but again, we need to put these things in perspective. They used to budget 500 naira for their daily feeding, at least less than 1,000.
Yeah.
Now it's more than 1,000.
Yeah.
It's fine. But even that 500, were they getting that value of 500?
Of 500.
Food.
That was FD.
If you picture anything that has to do with mass feeding, example, NYSC. You don't know how much the government voted for you to eat. But if you look at the food that
honestly, I don't know.
that is being served.
I heard that it was bad.
Some people
I never went
will not
there.
even bother.
I didn't bother.
While some that couldn't afford it would have to eat that thing 3 times.
You know, the funny thing is that
with the meal ticket,
it wasn't that. See, shout out to when you're not like a food person like that. You know why? I could remember that I basically barely ate maybe once a day, and maybe like had like biscuits and all that. Yeah, I remember the 3rd or 4th day that I got to, and do I agree that some people can actually, even that's my own once a day, or biscuits or cookies or whatever it is, some people can afford it. Yes, I would not lie, because I remember, I think the 4th day we got to, there was a platoon meeting, and there was a lady that was crying. I say, okay, we are supposed to be graduates here. Serious matter. And then, everybody was just saying, sorry. So then I went to meet her. I'm like, okay, is there a problem? Like, what exactly is the problem? Instead of just sorry, you put sorry is not reducing her crying. Jiggy, like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't think there's a point for sorry if there's no solution. And then she says that the meal ticket, the card, that she's misplaced it. In my head, I'm like, that's why you're crying. To be honest, that was the first thing that popped in my head. But I didn't say it out. Then I remembered, they gave me meal tickets that, they should give me one card like that. And then it was, those funny packs. So I'm like, okay. So I just picked it. I said, and I asked, I think the platoon leader, like, can somebody else use yours? I'm like, oh, yes, that is not, anybody can use anybody else. I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't give it to her. You could see the brightness. Like, I literally, till we left camp, that babe will come and look for me every day and come and say hello to me. I'm like, okay. I didn't think it was that serious, though. But the honest truth is, yes, I heard stories of how the food was not great. Okay, so now, those are graduates, people who went to university and polytechnics, who are serving their fatherland. They're in camp for 2 or 3 weeks, and their food is mass produced. Now take it from that realm to the correctional centers, the prisons. People that they already looked down on.
There are no guarantees that even the 500 naira budget per prisoner was being spent
judiciously.
There are no guarantees.
Yeah.
So increasing it to 1,000 something is just on paper.
I get your point. Like, if that system is not
translates to the quality and the quantity of food that they get while being locked up. Again, those correctional centers should also be made to be productive beyond just food. The ones that have space, they should farm.
Farm
their food, get good quality and fresh food.
They feed themselves.
There are other things that they can do that will also earn money for themselves while in prison, which could help them with their own feeding and other things.
Yeah.
You said it's a correctional center, Abi. So what's the use of locking up a man or a woman?
I was even going to say that even putting it in the budget and all that, isn't it also time to, like, I know that the Minister of Interior started it. I don't know why he has not continued. I don't know if it's the logistics or people are not giving money anymore. Remember, that was the first set of things he did when he gathered money
to decongest
the prisons. You know, I know that, yes, it's a lot of these prisons are very choked up and very inhumane environment and all that. Wouldn't it even make more sense? And you're spending less money if you have less people to cater for.
Exactly, you know, so this is something that was supposed to be a continuous project and process. There are still too many people locked up in Nigerian prisons.
I agree.
Who are there for flimsy reasons, who might have, in the process of waiting for judgment, might have spent more time locked up than they could possibly be sentenced to.
Yeah.
Those kind of people should be processed and let go off.
Go quickly.
You know, that way you decongest the prison and spend less. You know, but beyond that, even taking it a step further, is how do you prevent people from even getting into prison in the first place? You need to work on all the things, the basic things that Nigerians need to survive. You know, more or less, you know, what are we doing for our youth? Beyond all the things you hear on paper, the practical things that can stop people from committing crime.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now, let's move on from that and let's go to the Nigerian Senate, the National Assembly. There are quite a number of stories coming out from there as the Senate is set to be screening at the moment the 7 ministerial nominees of President Tinubu's cabinet reshuffle. So I'm sure that a lot of news will come out of that in a couple of hours.
I'm particularly excited about the Minister for Livestock. You know, someone who, on his own terms,
I've seen a couple of videos of a lot of things the man does, and I'm like, okay, so it's interesting now that to a large extent, maybe that's someone that gets it, understands the system.
So if we can do it right, I like the way agriculture has been broken, you know, in a way that is not all about. Every time you hear agriculture, people just think about the hoe and a farm and digging, but you understand that there's an entire value chain.
There's so many parts. I watched a video of the man talking about how Nigeria should not be we should not be importing milk, and how it is surprising how at this point in time our schools, at least in primary schools, there should be at least a cup of milk for each child in primary school every day. And, you know, all those things that I'm like...
So let's hope they can walk the talk.
Yeah.
But I'm particularly excited about him and hope that the livestock ministry would actually take up a life of its own and stock up our fridges and freezers with life.
Yeah.
Plenty protein.
Maybe we stop having powdered milk. And actually have fresh milk.
And all these stale imported poultry products.
Poultry products, exactly. Now, moving on from that. Now, also in the House of Representatives, they're set to question a 1.46 billion naira Kaduna road contract for discrepancies. We'll also follow that, talking about the things that the House of Reps are questioning. They're also questioning the approval of Canaanland airstrip. According to them. And you know, when I first saw this headline, that's why, you know, it's not good to just always follow headlines. Yeah, I saw the headline, I'm like, these people, don't they have work to do? However, I now stumbled on a video where they were actually having the conversation, and the person that had brought up the motion was making a lot of sense. Apparently, a couple of years ago, a pastor as well was also caught in another country moving a lot of illegal stuff out of the country with an airstrip, through an private airstrip and all that. So what they're saying is that they're not looking at it. And I saw when the person that posted this particular video on Twitter, I saw a lot of comments saying, but he's not just anybody, he's a man of God, he's a this, he's a that. I say, okay, let's not be sentimental in these things. What they are literally talking about is security and insecurity concerns. And it is a very, very, very valid concern in my books. At least according to the way it was presented and it was explained, it had nothing to do with it. However, they were also talking about how the NCAA should be the one to give those approvals and not the ministry. And first thing in my head was, is the NCAA not under the Ministry of Aviation? Which is what the speaker had already said, that it's the minister is in charge of NCAA. So that one, maybe it might not be, there might not be so much issues with that. But that, they were actually questioning why there should be private airstrips, and those things maybe at the moment need to be, approvals for those things need to be stopped.
So how do we prevent this cat before us situation, or this scenario where someone has been given the go-ahead to run a private airstrip, and now the assembly is kicking against it, that they want to look into it? How do we prevent this? Maybe we need to restructure our laws in a way that after the organ that is charged with the processing and approval has done it, it should go through the assembly so
maybe,
that they can now also
at least there are committees for those things,
then approve it. So because isn't it funny that the federal government has given someone the right to run a private airstrip, then the House of Assembly, I like checks and balances, but shouldn't it be
it should have been maybe
so
before
that there's no merry-go-round around it?
I agree with you. That's why I said that. But to be honest, looking in depth about their concerns, it's actually very valid, in my own opinion, though. Anyway, moving on from that quickly, also the House of Rep lawmaker, the Abia State, the slapping, the slapping lawmaker has said to now face the court over the assault of a boat driver. We had talked about his apology yesterday. He had made an apology. Interestingly, he was apologizing to Nigerians. I'm like, shouldn't you apologize to the person?
No, he actually mentioned the guy too.
That got what? I don't think Nigerians need an apology. I think the person needs an apology.
Yeah.
Anyway,
he apologized to the guy.
Isha went to Isha gone to magistrate court in Kuje today, and he was granted a 500,000 naira bail.
Yeah. My own thing about this is there are other cases that are similar to this one. You know, that there was a member of the House of Assembly, House of Rep member, became a senator even after the scandal broke of him in a sex toy shop.
Oh, yeah.
Assaulting a woman physically. This is Nigeria. What happened to that guy? He became a senator.
I think it was just because he was sacked by the court by his was he sacked, or I think he lost an election. That was the only reason why he
after that scandal.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like the only reason why he's not in the House is not because of what happened. Is basically now, doesn't that also call to question the people that vote these people in?
Beyond the people who vote them, why is there no system that stops them? Beyond the people who vote them, Dolupo, why is it possible that on video someone is captured assaulting a person, and there are laws against physical assault, battery, and all of these things? Forget the person's status as a lawmaker. You are not allowed to lay your hands on anybody. Yeah. We keep saying it. So, how is this person able to do this and nothing happened? Nothing. And why do I say nothing happened? Because he still spent years in the assembly after that. We are not encouraged until these kind of cases are seen to a reasonable conclusion, where they get to take him to court and the law, the long arm of the law, catches up with him.
With people, yeah.
I know they're saying that they're referring in their own house, they referred it to the ethics committee and everything. But you don't need to go far. We're not saying you should. And they even gave them about 3 weeks or 2 weeks to sit on the matter.
What are you sitting on it? Are you blind?
I was watching the deputy speaker talk, and I was like, this is why Nigerians don't trust you people. You know, you could have actually expedited action on this.
Yeah, are we blind? Everybody can see what's happening.
The person that was assaulted is still alive. Is in Abuja. You don't even need to fly him to Abuja. He's in Abuja. the alleged assaultee that we saw on video and also confirmed by himself, is also there with you. In 48 hours, you can conclude any investigation that you are doing.
You want to have,
but you see, what they are trying to do is always let the matter die.
Yeah, you get
I can guarantee you that in a few days' time, Nigerians are about to move on.
We're moving on to something else.
Not even days, in a few hours' time, you will see. And what usually happens is that it just dies. Remember when a particular Nigerian artist decided to shoot a video, and he had some naked and partially naked women drive in a bus.
There was a lot of hue and cry.
That was built with glass.
Nothing happened.
What happened?
Nothing. Absolutely
Everybody
nothing.
made noise. What happened?
Anyway.
There is a video of a popular Nigerian rapper who happens to be a lawyer, whose father happens to be a lawyer, spraying money. The video is there. Now, there's another person that went to jail for spraying money and other things. That this lawyer that I'm talking about, name was mentioned somewhere. Now, this person is now out there. There's a video of him spraying.
Yeah.
What has happened? We have selective justice in this country, and until you treat everybody equally, until everything happens the way it should, Nigerians will continue to not trust the government system and the politicians in charge. Simple. So no selective justice. If someone does something wrong, clamp down, use the law. The law is there. In fact, a lot of our laws are outdated. They need to be upgraded. But even those ones,
are they even using them? That's the question.
They're not. They're
not.
not.
Pastor Eliashi Bimejem says, hello, hi sir, how are you doing? Now moving on from that, I think the Kano state governor has announced that he's going to start paying 71,000 naira minimum wage.
Congratulations.
What is the meaning of 71,000?
When I saw that story, Arsene Wenger just came to my mind. The instant
funny
I saw,
enough, there are also some very interesting ones, though. Very, very interesting number. I saw
why
one.
you're digging up your
Gombe State is paying 71,451 naira.
Then try. I remember when Arsene Wenger was bidding for a top player, and the player's value was put, I think it was 30 million pounds or something that year. And they said, look, you can't just pay that, you need to. Baba just added small change on top.
You said it has to be above now, so why not if
Baba
not?
just added like 2 pence or one small amount on top.
Not?
And of course, the player went to Chelsea or somewhere else. So anytime I see this kind of thing that the governor of Kano has done, so the benchmark is 70,000.
Abi,
and he has added 1,000. Hey, Gombe has added 1,400. They're not trying.
Pastor says
1,400 is something now.
Why are you calling Wenger? But it's true.
But this happened.
But you know why? Kudos to them. There are people that are paying exactly 70,000. That are not adding 1 naira to it.
And there are some that have not even agreed to pay the 70,000.
They have not agreed though. So there's a long list actually.
You can't forget, sir, that Professor Arsene Wenger did this.
He said Alakago. Anyway,
he couldn't even make it maybe like 32 million.
No, it don't spend.
Baba just added small change.
Baba does not spend that kind of money. Anyway, talking about the minimum wage, Lagos State and Rivers State are set to pay 85,000 naira. They seem to be the highest. How does Governor Fubara plan to pay this 85k now? Anyway, not my business.
Moving on.
Anyway, Enugu State are also paying. Enugu State and Bayelsa are set to pay, and Niger State are set to pay about 80,000 naira. I know that Ogun State has announced 77,000 naira of
first tax 77.
Please. Anyway, shout out to 70,000 naira people. Kwara State is not adding 1 naira to your 70,000 naira. Kogi State is paying 72,000 naira 500. See what we're saying. Governor Soludo is paid exactly 70,000. Katsina State is also paying 70,000 naira. Ebonyi State is paying 70,000 naira as well. Adamawa State is 70,000. I think Ondo State as well is sticking to their 70,000. They are not doing so much. Oyo State, Nasarawa State, Borno State, Osun State has promised to start paying. I don't know how.
Why did you say all? And when you got to Osun, you put promise.
Okay, I said he has promised that he has not started paying. And Benue State is also paid 70,000 naira. I'm just reporting what. Okay, so Pastor is talking about the River State. Oh, say I don't know if you had discussed River State debacle. Oh yes, we have. If you go back, we had quite.
But you
know,
can drop your
my
comments,
take is that the fight in River State was engineered by Edwin Clark and his Ijo clan. Okay, there's sir, can we have I don't know. It's possible that SR knows a bit more on this. Can I have a bit more clarity on that?
There's an ethnic coloration to that fight. You've been seeing a few comments here and there, and honestly, it shouldn't be. But yes, there is an ethnic coloration
Edwin Clark is okay. That other old man. Okay, you know why? Okay, so he seems to have another comment. He says, I told them that Wike will beat them to the game because he's following the law. Thank you very much, sir. Do you understand? That's where my own issue is. If you're going to fight someone, at least do it according to the law. Do it within the confines of the law. That's all. So that you don't have something that they will hold you on to. Because right now, by the time it gets to the court, it will just not make sense if you don't do things. The law does not care who is fighting who.
This is what we've been saying about the Rivers debacle for months. But sadly, a few people don't get it and they misconstrue what we're saying. We're saying that Governor Fubara should be guided by the law too.
Sadly, it looks like he has done so many things now, and I don't know how he's going to retrace his steps because there's so many things that he's done that is against.
As much as we still feel that the Nigerians don't respect the law very well, there are some things you can't get away with anymore.
Yeah.
Some governors, look, I said it now. Maybe it was one of Dolupo's former governors in Ekiti that would carry gavel.
I do not like what you're doing.
With jeans and t-shirt, carry gavel.
I don't like what you're doing.
I'm the hitting gavel. Governor. There's no separation of powers. Do you understand? And they will say, would they say it was cruise or he was joking or anything? There was a time now in Ogun State where this same scenario happened. This same Fubara and Wike Kano, and this was, I think, it was under maybe Governor Bengadana or something, where 7 or 6 House of Assembly members could impeach the rest.
Remember, it happened in Oyo State.
It has happened in the past.
A minority in the House impeached a whole governor. But those things.
But what happened?
The courts
the law would always catch up with it.
The courts ended up reinstating all these people. Pastor says Wike installs an Ijo after several years out of power in Rivers State. He says Fubara is loquacious and ignorant. I think I agree with you, sir. I think that there is a large chunk of ignorance in this. He also says, how can a man help you to power and in 3 months you start fighting?
It's crazy.
Funny enough, like I said, whatever is causing their fights, good luck to both of them. But you are doing so many things that is obvious.
And the people of Rivers are
suffering. It doesn't make any sense. How do you say it outside that you presented a budget to 4 people? Make it make sense. 4 people.
And every time
in an assembly house that is supposed to have 32 constituencies, that alone already means that you have disenfranchised 28 different local governments from having a say in what goes on in their state. That alone is already grounds for impeachment.
For every 28 constituencies of 32, for every court pronouncement, Governor Fubara should see the handwriting on the wall.
You're not the one that
he shouldn't wait until Supreme Court makes this pronouncement. The one that
amazes me the most is that, okay, so even if their seats are declared vacant, because there is no majority in the house, that house, please correct me if I'm wrong, that house should be on hold until there is a new by-election that brings in other people before anything else can happen.
Yeah, because
nothing should be going on in that house.
You cannot deprive a whole 28 constituencies say in government, and this say they have through their representatives.
Nothing should be going on in that house. Let's even say that it comes back and says that their seats are vacant. Even still, there still needs to be a way to fill in those seats before anything else comes up, because I don't know. I don't understand who his advisors are. But
when you are doing politics, you must understand law too.
Exactly.
When you are doing politics, you must, and if you don't understand law, get people who understand the law, who can walk you through the process. So you can't keep making this kind of schoolboy mistakes. I'm sorry.
Anyway, moving on from that quickly, the NNPC has now come to announce that they had also denied a fuel hike. They're saying that petrol is still 990.
It's not important to us.
They
said they have deregulated. So all this story, even when someone says they have increased, we have heard.
We've heard, right? But
they
what
say
they're saying now, there's not an increase. Funny enough, everybody carried that story. Sadly, everybody.
Did it make any difference to the people who went to buy the fuel?
They bought it. They didn't buy it more expensive.
Did they not buy?
Yeah, but
did they not buy?
They didn't spend more.
It doesn't make any difference.
No, but I think that is wrong news to carry such news.
Okay, we have heard. We agree, but it still doesn't make any difference. The only difference Nigerians want to see is that the pump price of fuel drops. Yeah, that's what we want to see. So all this story about they didn't add 25. It's story. We don't care. See Dangote yesterday complaining. He said that they are not buying from him. That they are going to buy from abroad. Okay, you said your petrol is cost now.
Exactly.
Finish.
Is it cheap?
Leave this monopoly talk.
Is it cheaper?
I know you are friends with Dolupo, so she might be sentimental.
Oh wow!
Me, I'm a neutral
person.
He's
no longer your friend. He's no longer your friend. Oh wow! Wow!
I'm neutral in Dangote matters.
Wow!
Yeah.
I will look for old videos for you. Anyway, Pastor Ilebe says once the Supreme Court affirms the 27 lawmakers, which is going to happen. He says which is going to happen. Fubara is gone.
That's my
Except
problem. And
Tinubu prevails on Wike to allow him finish his first term. Now, you know where I have...
But they said Tinubu should not get involved.
Exactly. Remember when he got involved and they did not listen? They said that he's meddling in their matters.
All the opinion leaders in Rivers State got angry.
Yeah.
So the only way he can do it is if there's a mediation. And they tried that earlier. Saying that...
And nothing happened.
I'm saying that maybe he should swallow his pride and call this wicked
There's no pride. I think that he's
people.
Gone. I think he's gone past that.
No. There's never too late. It's politics. Never say never. Calm down. Sit down.
But what happens to the cases in court?
Everybody will withdraw their cases. Is that not what Tinubu told them before? Okay, everybody withdraw your cases.
I just think that it's gone a little bit too far.
No, it's politics. Don't ever say it's gone.
Okay,
how do we get a solution if we don't look for one?
Court, that.
Which court? Before we bring court pronouncement, it could go either way. So let him come and tell them, okay, you know what, guys? I don't hear. Make una resume work. I recognize you. Recognize me too. Please help me pass my budget. It's for the people. And we can look for other ways to settle ourselves. I'm telling you because it's a quid pro quo situation.
Yeah, Pastor is saying what Yoruba that I'm not sure I've carried. Let me try. Okay, I think I get it now. Ijati woniki baba magbo, baba yo pare.
Baba that we finish it.
But Baba helped them to try to pare the other time.
No, but it's back to this thing that this is wisdom speaking now, and that's what Pastor Emma James is saying. The matter where they say make Baba know here, now Baba go settle him.
Last. Anyway, talking about conversations that just pops up on social media. I think that the first time I saw this particular report I'm about to say, I think it was on Sahara Reporters. I think they were the ones that started it, saying that Governor Sanwo-Olu had launched a probe against the EFCC, saying
launch a probe. No.
So that there was a suit that so that he will not be probed after he leaves government. And to be honest with you, not like I'm a fan of Governor Sanwo-Olu, or no, I'm actually just very neutral at this point. However, when I read that story, I felt it was very dumb because it didn't make sense. Let me just put it like, to me, it didn't make any sense. He's still a governor. He still has close to about 3 years to go. Like, why? What kind of a suit is that? What do you want to go and do in court? Do you understand? I'm like, politicians, you don't know what's it called. So, however, now they had his I think his media office had come out to say that there's nothing like that. They did not do anything like that. But my question is, when would the media become responsible? Because, like I said, a lot of people went on with that story. But this is me as a layman, not even as a media person or anything. I felt that story was very ridiculous. So before you answer that question, I think that Pastor has a question for you. He says, SR, what solution? If Fubara wins, would he seek peace? I beg, Wike go win.
Baba, me, I'm just looking for something that would make it easy for the people of Rivers State to get good governance. I repeat again, I don't know if you heard me when I said it earlier. I was really happy when I looked at the verve that Similar Fubara started his governance. He was talking about this local government road and bridge that was going to transverse about 3. I was really looking forward to all those kind of
those things
because of
Pastor says, for avoidance of doubt, I don't like Wike because he rigged us Labour Party out of Rivers. But in this matter, he's the one following the law. And I like this your angle because it is being factual. Let's remove sentiments. You don't have to like somebody. It is what it is. It is glaring. Like, you don't need to be because at the end of the day, the law does not see your sentiments. It's not about what you like or you don't like. So I think I agree with you, sir, on this one. So so back to the conversation of
So the thing about it is, look, for instance, there's a court case that they said someone says he doesn't want EFCC to follow him up when he leaves government. Who instituted the case? It's not hard now. People can't go to court and not have the lawyer.
So what they're saying now is that according to Lagos State government, that there's no case like that.
Okay, so if there's no case like that and they've confirmed it, when are they suing the people who said that there's a case like that?
That's where my question is. Like, when do we stop this irresponsibility as the media?
What you call irresponsibility is some people's bread and butter. Dolupo, you're the one that wants to stay on the side of the law, that wants to be guided by professional ethics. Some people are paid to do what Sahara Reporters has done. And beyond that, some people even do it because they have the platform and the power.
And immediately I saw this thing, I'm like, isn't this ridiculous?
Look.
I'm like, what in the world is this?
Do you know how many people have taken pictures off the internet and posted it as progress in some states that a state just built a road or a bridge, and millions of people will see it? It's their bread and butter. The only way you can stop it is to correct them by going to court.
So we need to go to court, but we're definitely also here as Boom Radio to put out facts about all these things that to debunk some of
That's why some of you will not like us, because we're going to go with the facts.
Yeah. Now moving on from that, yesterday evening, news broke that the APC has officially suspended Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola. So people that might not know, he was 2-time governor of Osun State, was commissioner of works in Lagos State, and then minister of interior, 2-time minister of interior. So it's pretty much a very influential person, but they're saying that there were a lot of anti-party activities with him between from 2022. So Pastor Imagem says Dolupo and journalism school were taught that bad news is news.
It's news.
It is news, but it's
butter.
false news. We're not what.
Well, it's still news. We're not supporting it, but hey, some people are going to do it anyway.
True, very true.
So talking about Aregbesola's suspension, if you notice, whenever someone is going to be suspended, it starts from their ward or from their state.
Yes, it's from their ward.
Now, if the national body does not endorse it, they would have reversed it. Something similar happened in Kano State.
Yeah.
And of course, it didn't hold water. Ganduje was suspended. Then Kwankwaso was suspended. Did you notice that thing was happening? Within the space of 2 weeks.
Yeah, everybody was suspended.
Or even
PDP.
NNPP.
Remember it happened in PDP too. Everybody was suspending everybody.
This particular case in Kano, between the NNPP and the APC, they say, that they've removed Ganduje. Then a few days after, they said they had removed it. And some people actually came out, made a video about it and all of that. now, because the national bodies do not support it, but if you notice this one, is almost 24 hours after that news broke, and nobody is saying it's not so. So it is so. It's been suspended. Now that has been established. Now, what are the anti-party things that they are talking about? A few days ago, he still posted a video of the Omoluabi movement. Now, if you understand the structure of the APC, the Omoluabi movement is allegedly powered by the immediate past vice president. That's the immediate past, allegedly.
Yemi Osinbajo.
Yeah, allegedly. So again, they're talking about their caucus and all the things that they're going to do for the party and blah blah blah. So they had this massive outing. Before that, go further back, the Osun State elections.
Oh yeah, that was
several members of his own inner caucus were seen at PDP rallies and campaigns and all of that.
Oh yeah.
Then go to that same period where he actually called out the man who now became president.
Oh yes.
More or less.
Pastor Imejem says Aregba is a jerk, but he's firmly in charge of APC in Osun State. Without him, PDP could not have won. I agree with you, sir, that they might not have won. However, it's those things. I think that it's possible that those things take time.
Do you know why I'm going to disagree with Pastor?
It could have happened then. I think it's going to be more difficult for him to do that anymore.
Beyond that, do you know why I disagree with you, sir? Check the results in Osun State.
Yeah. That's how results always happen.
How many votes the APC got without Aregbesolah's support? He's not firmly in control. He has a large power base in Osun State.
The PDP and Osun State is a very, very divided.
What was the gap that Governor Adeleke had over Oyetola?
What was the gap that Oyetola had over?
If he was firmly in control, Oyetola would not have garnered as much votes.
Yes. What was the gap that Oyetola had against Adeleke the other time? Even there's never been
4 years before that.
There's never been a landslide victory like that. Osun
it's always been tight. Now remember that they needed.
I agree with you.
Iyola Omishore to step down and do some.
Oyo State, Osun State has always been like a battleground.
It is a battleground.
Yeah. So okay. So he says APC has been trying to recreate problems for Adeleke, but Aregbe's group are making it difficult.
That's politics. I mean, I don't even know that much, but I will not argue with that. You know, that's politics. But
he
what
says,
I am
forget
saying,
the number of votes. So I don't think we can.
But it's about
they are defined.
If it was firmly in control, this suspension will not hold.
Will not hold. Yes.
If it was that's another one I'm giving back to you, sir. If it was firmly in control, apart from the numbers,
we know how it is done. How is it done?
How?
At the end of the day, it's
I don't think it's not sir. He's not firmly in control. If you notice, every meeting he has had, it's been factionalized and it's been about caucuses, not the APC.
And I think that at the moment,
and he knows it.
The president being who he is.
Did you not notice something? After the presidential elections, during the presidential elections, he left Nigeria. He traveled.
Yeah.
He didn't participate.
Oh yes, and that was how I think somebody was insulting him.
After the presidential elections, did you not notice that he came to Lagos to campaign for Sanwo-Olu?
Yeah.
Sir, you know his politics now. You know politics. You know I'm past myself. I know if you know.
Anyway.
But the small way I know, I completely disagree that Aregbesola is firmly in control. Aregbesola has a large supporter base in Osun State, but he's not firmly in control of APC. It's not.
Anyway, moving on quickly from that. Oh wow, we're basically out of time, but just wanted to put this out there as Ebonyi University has now banned final year students from post-examination celebrations.
Those celebrations are not celebrations. It's not just Ebonyi. I think every Nigerian university should look into that thing, because at times they tend to get out of hand.
Yes,
and it's also a celebration of some.
It's sad, you know. It's I've heard it once before where. I remember there was a conversation about this a couple of years ago. We're talking about this with my mom, and she was like that. She remembers that when she and some of her siblings that went to Ife, that once you're graduating, the day that you're graduating, her father literally bundles you in the car that you're going back, because that there is the Ashijere River that every single year, the finalists that always have accidents and end up in that river.
Driving up and down carelessly
every year. So like you're just bundled. And
I think you have some comments that dropped.
Oh, okay. So he says, SRD, 3 persons not pass budgets in rivers. which we now know that is illegal.
But it's illegal.
It says he did not campaign for Tinubu, but Sanwo-Olu only. So
That's what I said. That's what I said.
Yeah, so
he traveled.
It's going to be a very difficult one for him right now, but we'll see where all the conversation is going to in Osun State. Now, just wanted to put that out there. Also, sadly, there are quite a number of things that we're going to talk. I wanted to talk about the Taliban and their new law against women. I think we actually need to have time to talk about
it's
that
not still tomorrow. So.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that tomorrow. Also, the NPFL is making a lot of money as they are finding people left. Almost every week now, people are getting fined. It seems like there's a new verve with the NPFL. So we'll see that this week it is Aimba and Kano pillars that got fined for inappropriate remarks about referees. Pastor Ibe James finally says, this typing is frustrating, Jerry. When am I coming to the studio? You know you're always welcome. You know you're always welcome. Anytime, please. We're here.
There's nothing to be afraid. It's water that we're drinking now. So.
On that note, that is all we'll be able to take today on the bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the comments.
Please
we'll
share
be
this
back
video.
again.
Please share.
Tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of the BoomBar. Do have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead.